should I say, because I didn't have that covering. I had to seek God for myself. Um, but I mean, it went like that. He moved out. I mean, the explanation he gave me at first was God told him. Come to find out, it's funny that God would even use people who you feel like you can trust or whatever in order to I guess bring further revelation. And that's what God did. God used somebody close to him. Um, and she just got confused, I guess. And she called me and told me everything, basically. And I mean, at that time, I had already heard from God. I had already seen God, and I knew what I was gonna do. But I guess it was just that last like seal, that last closing out that she gave me the information. She told me pretty much everything from A to Z. And that was my decision to get a divorce. I believe that God does honor marriages. He does love union, and I believe that if both parties is willing to work it out, then God will honor that. But God is a great, gracious God, and He give us this thing called free will, and He's not gonna force Himself on you. So if my ex husband wasn't willing to do the work at that time, and I was, or if my ex husband wasn't listening to God and I was, it was now unequally yoked. So God was not gonna leave me, and this is my opinion. God was not gonna leave me in a relationship where God think of me as a precious jewel, princess. I'm His child. He's not gonna leave me, His child, in a relationship that another man here on earth is abusing me and mistreating me. That's not what God wants for you. And I truly, truly believe that there are certain situations that is an excuse. I wouldn't say an excuse, but it will get you out your marriage. God will say, okay, that's understandable. One of those reasons is infidelity. Infidelity and abuse is the two reasons I feel is a, a great reason to get out of a marriage. Because no one is going to beat on me, or no one should want to beat on you, or you should want to have no one beat on you. And you shouldn't be cheating. If you felt like you wanted to, have sex with everybody or do what you want to do, don't get married. Just don't get married. Because infidelity, it causes a lot of hurt, not only to you, but if children is involved, which in my case a child was. It wasn't my ex-husband child. It was a child from a previous relationship. But that had an effect on my son and myself. You know what I'm saying? It hurt. So after 4 months of marriage, he decided to move out. And that's why my story is such a testimony, because we didn't even get into nothing yet. We haven't even got into our marriage. He started cheating almost immediately after we got married. 4 months later, he moved out. By the seventh, eighth month, our divorce was final. So we was separated a good 4 months before we even finalized our divorce. And I mean, it hurt so bad to feel like a man loved you and cared about you this much, and then only to find out 4 months later he was leaving your home at nighttime just to sleep with another woman who was also married at that time. She was married, and it just hurt. It just hurt, and it was nobody but God that got me through that situation. It was nobody that but God who said it's okay. And I tell a story that I felt like Job. I mean, I felt like it was a major attack against the enemy. But however, when I came out of this, I can really say God did it. God get the glory for it, because God has, since the divorce, and I mean even before then, God prepares you for things. But I can honestly say my life has changed tremendously, because I mean, I'm having the best time of my life. I'm happy, and it's by no man, no person, nobody but God did it. God made me feel that life goes on. God helped me to understand you can't make anyone do anything you want them to do. They have free will just like I have free will. And so, I mean, I encourage all of those who are having trouble with their marriage. You don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I could have did things different. No, honor what you have now. Think about what you have. Trust me, that's my ex-husband's testimony. He now realized that the grass is not greener. The grass is not greener. It's the 80-20 rule. He had 80%, he left for 20, and she left him. As soon as he got divorced, she didn't want him no more. So it was like, and I have talked to him, and I mean, I love him with the love of Jesus Christ. I don't hate him. I'm not in love with him, but I do love him with the love of Christ, because as a Christian, God is love. How can you expect, God to be love, and you say you're striving more and more to be like God, but you don't love nobody? That's ridiculous. I don't care what a person do to you. However, you can't forget what a person done to you. And I'm a firm believer. You can forgive, but don't forgive and then go back and then for them to do it again. You know what I'm saying? I love him with the love of Jesus Christ. I have spoken to him for about 45 minutes. I think our conversation lasts, and I explained to him, I understand. I also expressed to him how he hurt me. And he was like, I just wish I could change it. I wish I would have listened. I mean, he said he was sorry and I forgave him. And I mean, that's what it is. That's what ministry is about. Ministry is about ministering even to those who hurt you. Ministering to even those who tried to destroy you. And they didn't know, or maybe they did know, that they was being used by Satan. But however, it's just like you have to forgive them. You have to know, I love you, and I'm gonna continue to pray for you. However, we just can't be together. We just cannot go back that way, because to me, I live by the motto. I heard one of our ministers at our church preach a sermon called "Better is Not Back There," and I believe God brought me out of this. And better is not backwards. I have to keep moving forward in God. So